And we're back, week 14 of Wrestling Mom's Basement. We're currently doing the Raw vs. SmackDown portion of our week. Joe, continue with the tag division on SmackDown.
The Usos and New Day tore the house down in Hell in a Cell match, but the Usos walked away with the gold to conclude the rivalry. It seems like WWE was built a new persona of the Usos for as much as they can, since the New Day already had their run on Raw as the longest reigning champs in WWE history. Even though the Usos will compliment New Day on SmackDown Live, they are still the top heels of the division. Run down the rest of the division like they are in the same league as these two legend, and as the head legendary teams pretty much prove that point, that the Usos are still the top heels.
It kind of came off a little bit two-faced for me. This is pretty much my negative for the tag division for SmackDown this week. The Usos came off very face-like. I get the respect part of New Day in there, I get that. But why point out that they thought that Fandango or Breezango was cool?
Because they are. It's hard to admit.
Yeah, but as a heel, you shouldn't say that. You should hate them.
I can't hate them. Maybe the Usos finally realized that their day one is really H and not Ish.
So then they're faceless.
No, they just realized it. Because they didn't alternate their moves. You just realized, so, like, one day I did wake up, and I thought back in April that my day one was Ish. But then in May, when they were feuding for Backlash, I realized that when I woke up one day, my day one was really Ish. But I'm still the same person. I didn't change my attitude or nothing. But I respect Breezango for telling me that my day one was always going to be H, not Ish. So what I'm saying is the Usos respect the fact that Breezango made them wake up and realize that their day one is H and not Ish. And that they are still going to kick their asses now if they have one that don't want to contend for SmackDown.
That
Made tons of sense. Move on.
no, it did not.
Yes, it did.
It did not whatsoever. It felt like the Usos were turning face to me. I don't know why you add that part.
It honestly felt like some of that
New Day did something similar with the Usos too, and with Lucha Dragons, right after the TLC match, the New Day said, "Hey, we respect you guys, we're off our part." And then when they started walking away, they started overly celebrating like New Day would as heels, and saying that they were better than all of them, and started celebrating their own New Day way, and getting that heat back. The Usos didn't actually do any of that. The heat of the segment actually went to Daniel Bryan for some reason, who told Usos and New Day to get out of the ring.
For some reason, that's why. The Usos and New Day have worked their asses off since June in this feud. Where now they were at the point where they got Daniel Bryan of all people booed. Because the fans didn't want to see them leave the ring. Even if they were in the team's wrestle on Tuesday night, the fans did not want to see Usos and New Day leave that ring. That's how much respect there was with the fans of those two teams after June to October. That they got Daniel Bryan booed. And Daniel Bryan was kind of a dick to the fans too. Like he said, when I say get out the ring, who are you all of a sudden? Shane went through a table, not you. Calm down.
Yeah, that's my negative towards the segment. The Usos acted two-face, and the heat went to Bryan.
Well, think that was the face of Bryan. I don't think they meant for the. I don't think they expect. If I'm creative,
but I'm saying that's where it ended up.
If I'm thinking WWE creative, I'm not thinking Bryan's gonna go out there and get booed at all. I can say by. Bryan's still their most popular star.
He also came off like a prick too.
That was him.
I want you guys to get out of the ring.
Honestly, the Breezango thing didn't feel right. No, I will say that.
No, it didn't.
It didn't feel like a script. And that happens with a lot of SmackDown's promos.
It felt like New
Day went off the... Yeah. I mean, Usos went off the... New Day interrupted.
Yeah, Usos just went along with it.
That's what I felt like. New Day went off the cuff and then Usos just went along with it. That's what I felt like.
Yeah. But still, those are my two negatives on that.
I should think it's nice to see Brian get booed for a change. Or because it's nice that the fans actually respect the Usos in a New Day for their hard work.
Yeah.
They must respect them a lot, though, to boot Brian. That one I can't hold against Creative. I don't think Creative will think Brian was going to get booed in that situation because Brian hasn't gotten booed in, 6 years. So,
If ever.
if ever, right, in his WWE career. So, was you really think he's going to get booed just for telling people to leave the ring? For doing his job? No.
Maybe except for when he broke up with AJ.
Yeah, that might be it. Yeah. Yeah.
Other than that, probably not.
No. Chad Gable and Shawn Bender, I mentioned, won the fatal four-way between the four teams to get cracking the tag team goals. So that versus the Usos are definitely going to be fascinating to watch.
That is definitely an intriguing match to see.
The newly formed team was only made less than 2 months ago. But we're prime and ready to make a turnaround opportunity to present itself. Both Gable and Shawn are fantastic in the ring. But I do think they'll need to showcase their wits on the mic to be on the same footing as the Usos on the mic. More so Shelton than Gable. If they can't and just realize still in the wrestling, I do have fun they'll be the same fate that American Alpha did. And becoming irrelevant, then go to singles. Which actually, for SmackDown right now, won't be either Gable or Shelton or singles either.
Yeah.
But
well, to be fair, I don't expect Shelton and Gable to be a tag team permanently. It is probably going to end with Shelton turning on Gable and that feud happening. I'll probably say within a year, maybe. I may be giving a little bit too much there, but I'll say about a year. But I am intrigued with this match. Shelton and Gable are both crazy athletic. The Usos are really on fire right now, especially right off the New Day feud. So this match would actually be very interesting to see, and it's probably the best match the SmackDown Tag Division can do that's actually fresh.
And also in the tag division, it's about time that Eric Rowan and Luke Harper finally showed up on TV, or reunited as a tag team once again. They've always been more formidable as a unit than individuals, more so Rowan. The division was in dire need of just two monsters wreaking havoc.
Yes.
Just to get their hands to change to gold. I feel like they could be the perfect foes for the New Day, since they're out of title picture at the moment.
Yes.
And those two teams battle out. Who should be getting the next crack at the SmackDown Live Tag Championship? Would probably be amazing.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see Harper and Rowan finally do something. The new gimmick, cool. It looks more like a realistic version of what they were in the Wyatt family, except more caped.
Right.
But still, it's great to see, especially Harper, who is incredibly underrated. And their tag team was also really good, too.
Yeah.
They had a great series against the Usos, which seems to be a pattern with a lot of teams in WWE nowadays. But yeah, I think they'll be the interesting contenders, or not contenders, but the next interesting opponents for New Day.
Alright, we're going to move on to the mid-carders, the Raw mid-card division. The Miz is pretty much a godsend to Monday Night Raw at this point, as he's played a catalyst in reforming the Shield and shaping up the TLC main event. It's clear at this point that there's absolutely nothing for him in the mid-card division, as he's cleaned up the division in the span of a few months. This is the perfect opportunity for Miz to thrust himself back into the main event. Sure, if his team wins the TLC.
Yes.
Even with the Intercontinental Championship on his shoulder, Miz still needs to prove to everyone in 2 weeks that he deserves to be in the same spot he once had in 2011, being the face of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, Miz has been on fire, especially on the mic. I'm interested, though, after he's done with the Shield, who his contender's going to be.
Same here.
It's the big mystery. I don't necessarily see an upper mid-card face that can actually feud with him and take the belt off of him. So I am interested in seeing that, unless they turn Joe face,
yeah.
maybe, or they sort of downgrade Finn into that role. But still, Miz has been kicking butt for the better part of 2 years at this point.
Also in the main card this week, Elias steamrolled over Apollo Crews for the third straight week, and for the third straight time in the span of 2 weeks. At this point, the WWE is adamant to have Apollo Crews look like Kurt Hawkins, and I think they have lost their damn minds in terms of that. Because I understand WWE wants to protect Elias at all, but I won't be doing that at the expense of somebody that could become at least a staple of the mid-card. And Apollo, that's stupid.
This is what Kurt Hawkins' losing streak's for.
Thank you. The WWE's in dire need of
lose.
The Roll's in dire need of a mid-card star.
Yes.
Or role. And Apollo does fit that bill for the mid-card. Clearly it's hard to get an opportunity to showcase his character, doing the character more. And WWE.com skits that the majority of fans will be checking out.
Yeah, the Apollo's been losing a bit too much. It's the fact that it's him and versus Apollo has been. Sorry. Apollo versus Elias has been happening too much. Period. It's not really been doing either one wonders.
And you know when two then too.
Just to stick together like that.
Between around 8:40.
Yeah.
You know that match is going on. 8:35.
So they probably should go to something different.
Raw doesn't have a strong big card.
They really don't. I don't know who they would go against.
Elias is literally drifted.
Yeah. Kurt Hawkins, maybe 1 week for both of them in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know what else they would do.
And also Raw's big card, Jason Jordan got back in the win column this week when he beat Carl Anderson still match. And seems at this point, our push, was that force been completely squashed for a time being too. It's obviously a stupid idea to have Jason Jordan be split from American outfit and had to be presented to Raw's Angle's long lost son. It's 2017 WWE when you catch on times, as everyone knows that it isn't Kurt's son and nobody cares.
I agree with that last statement. Here was the answer to our question from WWE's perspective. It was supposed to be Jason Jordan for them. The crowd just didn't take to him.
Right.
It didn't help that right after his big moments, he didn't necessarily impress in his matches.
Right.
He did have a couple good matches eventually, but I don't necessarily think those matches took the stigma off of what already damaged Jason.
Yeah.
Which is a shame too. He's incredibly athletic. I can definitely see why WWE wanted to put him in that spot. Definitely. He's incredibly athletic. He is a good wrestler. Well, at least he can be. But still, it doesn't necessarily... What happened to him, what they did to him, and what they tried to do to fix it, didn't necessarily fix it. He's still damaged now from the cause of it, because they don't know how to fix it.
Right. For the SmackDown Live mid-card division, Kevin Owens won his own solo match against Shane McMahon with the help of Sami Zayn. Wasn't something that anybody expected. We threw it out there by Gallant. Sami's always been booked as one of the purest baby faces in WWE, but his booking never really helped him on either Raw or SmackDown Live since the draft. Sami's promo on SmackDown explaining his actions to helping Kevin Owens was not only very sound, but made a lot of sense. You can't really classify Zayn turning to heel only to see Kevin Owens for certain destruction. So what will happen next to these two brothers, only time will tell.
I thought it was a very good promo from Sami Zayn. Usually the best villain turns in movies, or even going to wrestling here since it's primarily wrestling talk. I don't know why I would talk about wrestling in a wrestling podcast, but still. Usually the best change of attitudes come from come from a hint of truth. I bet you Sammy did feel like, hey, you guys told me you guys wanted me on SmackDown, and it didn't actually
pan out.
Yeah, it didn't actually pan out the same way you thought it would or said it would, and I might as well have just stayed on Raw. And there are other things where there was truth in there, where Shane pretty much blew Sammy off when he was trying to give him helpful advice towards Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens is Sami Zayn's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And they're together, and they're buddies, and they're hugging. Sort of overly glad-handing each other now. Saying, and here's to Sami Zayn. And here's to Kevin Owens. And here's to Sami Zayn. And here's to Kevin Owens. It's sort of going to turn into Jericho and Owens world a little bit, which is fantastic. But I do remember before, years ago, saying that the two people of this era that should never turn heel are Sami Zayn and Bayley. And in this year, I've already called for Bayley to turn heel. As you, there's probably some clip of that on our channel that says I think Bayley should turn heel, or at least him saying and me nodding, and then I'm okay with the Sami Zayn heel turn.
Right.
So it's 2017 is a very interesting time.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Also, Baron Corbin did the unthinkable and won the United States Championship on Sunday, and also beat AJ Styles to retain on SmackDown Live. And it's crazy to envision that the guy who lost the Money in the Bank cash-in 10 then got squashed by John Cena SummerSlam, will win the gold. In all honesty, it should happen a long time ago at WrestleMania, when he screwed over against Dean Ambrose for the Intercontinental Championship. Now that he defeated AJ Styles, it should be time to set up that rubber match with Ty Dillinger, the one-on-one rubber match. Mm-hmm. Since he did beat last week on SmackDown Live.
Yes. Yeah, apparently Corbin's not that far into the doghouse as we thought he was.
Mm-hmm.
They're willing to give him another opportunity fairly quickly after his debacle with the briefcase. And so the slow turns usually work out better. They usually stick it a little bit more because the fans have more of a journey to go on with them, and they're willing to invest more time in it when things don't necessarily work out for a performer. But still, Corbin finally gets a much-needed title.
Yeah.
WWE.
And for the rest of the division, as for AJ Styles, since he lost his rematch to capture the U.S. Championship, it's about time he moves back up to the WWE Championship picture. He never once got won one rematch at the WWE Championship and losing it at the Royal Rumble this year. And that's the angle she played off. And it's obvious that AJ's the face of the Blue Brand still, and he's the only guy remaining who can credibly dethrone Jinder for the WWE Championship at this point.
Yeah, he is definitely the next contender for Jinder. No, there's not really anybody else set up in that position. Nakamura just went down. Orton couldn't beat Jinder.
Bobby might, if they want to fast track it.
Bobby might.
He's the only one left, besides AJ.
But I think the safer play is probably AJ at this point. Bobby, I think, needs something else before he goes for the title. I would say feud with Orton for Bobby. But anyway, getting back to AJ, he's definitely Jinder. He has to be Jinder's next contender, and at this point, he's probably Jinder's last best hope of having a good match on pay-per-view. AJ's had great matches with tons of people.
Right.
And really, if Jinder wants to at least wipe off the crust of having a terrible title reign, AJ's the best opponent to do that with. So let's hope AJ gets the belt.
And with that, move into the world title pictures. Not that there was a world title picture on either brand, but what we consider
Brock hasn't been there for a few weeks.
And Jinder
wasn't there this week.
Well, Jinder was there. He wasn't ultimate.
Yes.
Or mentioned.
And strangely enough, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing for either show.
So let me go with this show that has no chain battle that we know of. Raw's World Title picture. So I make stuff up here for me. I've seen Braun Strowman now did a big win this week. I think he's still main there.
Yeah, he beat Matt.
Over the former World Tag Team Champion Matt Hardy says loser Brock Lesnar No Mercy. Braun has steamrolled over Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Matt Hardy, and the fashion style top of the Universal title rankings. I guess he's still the contender. Nobody else.
Technically, yeah.
Nobody else is.
I would have said Joe, but Joe's currently inactive. So.
Yeah. So now Braun's been inserted to the TLC main event match by pin against the Relay Shield. This is somewhat interesting considering Brock will be around for the time being. We'll have to wait and see how Strowman book a TLC, but it honestly could be a genius move to have him in this match since he's suited in these chaotic matches anyway.
Yeah. Usually chaotic Braun Strowman match is best Braun Strowman match.
Yes.
Guy's just a beast, and he pretty much picks up everything, throws people through them, or people at them, or them at people. Even if the thing's supposed to remain still, he still throws them through it.
Right.
Cages, stages, your grandmother. Your grandmother's walker. Your grandmother's doctor.
Raw's other main event. I guess in this storyline, it is crazy to see Roman Reigns get shown crazy. For a week. Where all it took was him to be arena with Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. This is honestly the best possible route that WWE can put Roman in right now. After beating Cena No Mercy, he had no clear direction on the re-establishing of the Shield. This past finally. Roman's now in a prime position to get the fans out on his side as he works Monday Night Raw with Dean and Seth.
Shield's back. Yeah, those moments on Raw where the Shield are back, they were wrecking house, they were surrounding the ring, they were powerbombing people, powerbombing through people's tables. How would I describe my reaction to them? Probably giddy as a schoolgirl. Just me going like this. It's just awesome. The Shield are my favorite stable of all time. Just because of the awesome moments they had. And strangely, really good booking for that period of time, too. Almost perfect throughout their 3 years. Yeah, so am I excited to see the Shield back wrecking house? Absolutely.
And then any other part of the main event scene, the Bray Wyatt Finn Balor story got a lot more creepier the past 2 weeks with the introduction of Sister Abigail character. It's obvious that Bray has turned Sister Abigail to a dark persona of his twisted character, similar to how Finn uses the demon on special occasions. A lot of fans are complaining that this is a stupid idea to have Bray play Sister Abigail character. But should we rush to judgment yet?
Yes.
Okay. Take it away then.
This is a fucking terrible idea. Whew. Jesus. First off, I won't get to the content of Bray being a woman possessing Bray, him being a woman, me assuming his gender, whatever it is. Dude looks like a lady. The production on that was horrible.
That's not something you hear from WWE.
Usually their production values are great. Like even things I would complain about were like, oh, the music's playing or something like that. Well, at least it was like produced great enough where, like, okay, it's not like WCW bad. This was fucking WCW bad production. Just that little like circle like warp thing. What the fuck was that? I know I'm not computer savvy, but I could probably do a better transition than fucking that. Oh my god.
The voice.
The voice, Have you ever played like God, what's that video game? I want to say Jack and Dexter, it's not it. Just like that voice, you heard a lot of Bray's voice talked about. You can hear him speaking,
Yeah.
and then have like it doubled over as pretty much the same voice, but just like tweak a little to make it sound a little bit more like drowned out, like a confidential informant over the phone, like how they were. It's happening, go at the parking lot. Like, something like that, but a little bit more feminine. And then let's get to the fact that Bray is in fact him to be either impersonating a woman, maybe kayfabe-wise possessed by a woman. And maybe he was inside Bray all along, and no judgment here. But come the fuck on. Really? I almost don't know what to say anymore. I can't even take this seriously now. What is he going to come out dressed as?
I'm not. Should I move on?
Yes.
Alright, SmackDown Live World Title picture.
Yes.
Which also didn't have a champion this week. Those.
Oh
Actually, they didn't have a champion this week, and we can't hold Sales Part this week. Those creative team made his mistake having Jinder Mahal retain the WWE Championship this past Sunday. They pretty much told the world that all the racist and bigot things that Mahal said about Nakamura's face and personality was right in the end by having Jinder retain the gold. That's what they did. That's the story on where the face was revenge. Jinder beat Nakamura. It's clear.
It doesn't necessarily mean he's right, though.
Jinder being no, it's WWE's why he's saying he's right.
No, it just means Jinder went up Nakamura that night. It doesn't mean winning a match doesn't validate what you doesn't necessarily validate what you say is right.
This feud called for Nakamura to be after all that. That's that part of the feud.
Like Dolph Ziggler, like Bobby Roode has said, the sky's blue, sky's green. Him beating Dolph Ziggler doesn't make him right.
They validated racism here.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Listen, I'm trying to find as many things possible with Jinder.
A heel was being a heel.
Now we're defending those promos?
I'm not defending.
They were terrible.
But I'm just saying, they didn't go out of their way and say, "Hey, Japanese people say rook instead of look."
They clearly pretty much did.
And they should hate Japanese people because of it.
And it was a bad look by WWE. And also didn't Jinder no favors in the long run either.
No.
By the eyes of fans, it's stupid to have a guy saying racist stuff hold on to the top price in the business. Also, so to have the WWE champion have a lengthy title reign based on his ethnicity and a proposed India tour in a few months. It isn't fair to the face or to Jinder himself. Look at that. I'm defending Jinder for being typecast this way.
Yeah. However, your pattern continues of Jinder not being on the show, and the show actually being pretty good.
Well, we'll get to that. Jinder's latest two opponents. As for Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura, they won their tag match to SmackDown Live, but what is next for them? Both are on a title picture, and clearly have no direction right now. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if both guys chase the Anthony Dunstable title.
Yeah.
In the meantime, since Baron Corbin just won the title, it'll be refreshing to see either man have a decent feud with the new U.S. champ for the next few weeks.
I think the bigger question is what happens to Rusev Day.
Yeah. And for the rest of the division, Bobby Roode will have his shot to shove Dolph Ziggler once and for all next week on SmackDown Live. Even though he did beat last Sunday night, the match did feel rushed and didn't get a proper feel. The Glorious One's been booked as a babyface since debuting on SmackDown Live after SummerSlam, but he should start turning the wheels to a heel turn very soon. Ziggler already showed a video recap of how Bobby Roode achieved the win himself. I feel like they should play to that angle next week and honestly pull a double turn maybe because we were saying earlier, Dolph's been working better as a face in recent years, and garners sympathy and when he's garnered sympathy from the fans, his feud with Miz, Shifter Hall Championship, for example, and Bobby's obviously better as a heel in the Glory Control, and have Bobby try to cheat to win their match once again.
Your baby is somewhat normal.
You're right.
Your wife is somewhat attractive.
But how do you, literally, just a month, come off of saying that, next few days, a top babyface. Oh, SmackDown.
Yeah, Bobby should be the heel. Dolph usually, especially how his in-ring styles were, I think he conducted himself better as a face. I do remember him having a problem with him being a heel. That's why they always put him with Vicky or AJ.
Right, yes.
They put him with somebody that he can work with to get the heat. But him on his own didn't necessarily conduct it well enough to be a heel. He's a great performer, and I think that could really shine a lot better as him as a face. And I know Joe's with me on that one.
Yeah. I think we can finish it today, because it's just 2 parts. Biggest botch of the week. Congratulations, Roll. Swiss around heel for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That was the brainer. Do we have to explain why?
God, I hope not.
Well, alright. Show of the week.
1,
2, 3. SmackDown. For me, it's going to be real fast because there's only like a minute and a half left. For me, SmackDown had more of a flow to it.
Yeah.
That may have something to do with Jinder, that may not, I don't know. But I felt like there was direction. Roll felt like the Shield was awesome. The sell for their TLC match was awesome. The women's division was actually pretty good this week. The cruiserweights were good considering lack of no Neville.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much my negatives towards SmackDown were more nitpickish, as it were. Raw, I legitimately had problems with some of them.
Not the Shield.
Yeah, not the Shield.
Not the woman.
Yeah, the Shield stuff was probably actually my favorite stuff for the week.
Didn't think AJ Corbin was the best match for the nation.
Yeah. But still, it's something about Roman Seth and Dean destroying each other. Or destroying everything. But still, SmackDown's my pick.
Alright, we'll be back next video with the NXT review.